You want answers!
I want the truth!
Play it.
Yes, Pope.
What type are you?
You're breaking my heart.
This is the Godfather of cinema, and thanks for joining me for my analysis of director David Fincher's 2014 psychological thriller Gone Girl, written by Gillian Flynn and starring Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, Neil Patrick Harris, Tyler Perry, and Carrie Coon. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell to be notified of my future videos. Gone Girl is about a man named Nick Dunne who is a writer and an expert on what men wear, how men talk, act.
Does that make you an expert on being a man?
What men drink and eat. But in truth, Nick is not an expert on being a man. He is just a regular guy and a bullshit artist.
Your parents literally plagiarized your childhood.
Like writers Rand and Mary Beth Elliott and their books about their daughter called Amazing Amy, who as a child prodigy takes up the cello at the age of 10, makes varsity on her school's volleyball team as a freshman, and who has a cute dog named Puddles.
It's made her more relatable.
Unlike Amazing Amy, their fictional daughter, Amy, their real daughter lost interest in playing the cello at the age of 10, got cut from her school's volleyball team in her freshman year, and doesn't have a cute dog named Puddles either.
You have a world-class vagina.
Even so, Amy is also a bullshit artist like Nick. And when they meet at that hip party in New York City, they instantly click because he is the cool guy she always wanted, and she is the cool girl he always wanted, and they get married, promising to stay the same and never allow any of life's pressures to make them change into people that they don't like. Then life happens, as it eventually does. They lose their jobs. Then Amy's parents go bankrupt. She loans them $1 million out of her trust fund without discussing it with Nick, assuming that he is a cool guy and not the type to get upset for being left out of her decision because of their prenup. After all, it was her money, and as long as they love each other, everything else is background noise until Nick makes an important decision without discussing it with her.
What?
To move back to Missouri to be with his dying mother after her doctor diagnosed her with breast cancer. And like Amy, Nick assumes that she is a cool girl and not the type to get upset for being left out of his decision to move her away from New York and her parents to Missouri, the belly button of the USA, to be with his dying mother. Being that Amy made a vow to him to always be the same agreeable, easy to get along with girl he married, and to never change into one of those other women who made a big deal out of being left out of important decisions. Even so, Amy wished that he would have asked her before making the decision to leave New York City and move to Carthage, Missouri. But as long as they love each other, everything else is background noise until she catches him kissing another woman outside of his bar. Now, everything he did that used to be cool with her, like losing his job and buying that new laptop, iPad, and those games for his PlayStation 2, to staying in the house and drinking beer all day, to hanging out late with his friends and coming home late with glitter on his face. Everything that Nick did up to Amy seeing him kissing this girl outside of his bar is now a lie, because he had broken his vow and was now that other guy that he promised her he would never become, and now she hates him.
Let the punishment fit the crime.
So, on the day of their 5th wedding anniversary, when he finally musters up the courage to ask her for a divorce, she tells him to give it some thought. He takes a walk, but when he returns home to continue their talk, she is gone. And seeing the shape of the living room, Nick suspects foul play and calls the police.
You two are the most fucked up people I've ever known.
Detective Rhonda Boney and Officer James Gilpin are assigned to the case, and right away, Officer Gilpin dislikes Nick for looking too calm and playing Tetris on his phone. Officer Gilpin also happens to watch a popular show on TV hosted by Ellen Abbott. She believes that Nick is guilty of killing Amy because their phone, credit cards, utilities, Nick's bar, and their rented house are all in Amy's name. As far as Ellen Abbott is concerned, Nick is a deadbeat who killed his wife for her life insurance. Nick does not look or act like Ellen's idea of an innocent man any more than he looks or acts like Amy's idea of a real man after losing his job and buying that laptop, that iPad, and those games for his PlayStation 2. Never mind that his strange reaction to being laid off from his job is due to the fact that he had never been laid off from a job in his entire life and did not know how to not have a job since he had been working since the age of 12. His mother taught him to smile at everything, to hide his honest feelings. He didn't know how to cope with losing his job normally, like going out and finding himself another job, so he coped with losing his job abnormally by buying stuff he didn't need, which is also why Mary Beth gets upset with him, because to her he looks like he is having a good time at Amy's rally. Again, he only looks this way because his mother taught him to smile at everything, to hide his honest feelings. He really feels awful at Amy's rally but hides it by pretending to have a good time, afraid to be his true self because he is aware that he is being watched by everyone else.
I didn't kill my wife.
Which is also why he liked going to a filthy sandbar that smelled like shit, so that no one would bother him and he could be alone to think. And this is why people watched TV shows like Ellen Abbott's to make complex people in the complex world that we live in simple to understand and predictable. And this is also why people like the idea of Amazing Amy, the pregnant angel, and hate Nick Dunne, her lazy husband, because cliches are easy to understand and predictable and require no thinking at all, only feelings.
You want Nick and Amy to be likable. After that, you invent.
And this is why Officer Gilpin believes Ellen Abbott's narrative that Nick is not an innocent man. Like the time that he and Detective Boney saw Nick at his father's house right after Amy went missing. But everything makes sense when they find Amy's half-burnt diary in the furnace of his father's basement. Nick had put it there after he killed Amy, which also explains him signing Amy's life insurance policy, knocking her down to the floor, and why she wanted to get a gun for Valentine's Day. Because Officer Gilpin believes that Amy wanted a gun to protect herself from Nick, he charged $117,000 worth of merchandise to his credit card in only 1 year.
What?
And as far as Ellen Abbott is concerned, no normal man would spend $1,000 on a robot dog. And as far as her behavioral psychologist guest on the show is also concerned, Nick's sister may be assisting him.
Often a bet.
It's twincest.
Ellen is 100% sure that Nick killed Amy because his mother trained him to hide his true feelings and the fact that he really feels shitty about Amy's disappearance. But the people watching him cannot see his true feelings. All they see are the images, as Amy is also able to manipulate Desi's ignorance as to why she kept his letters instead of throwing them away, because people generally go by what they see. So it is no accident that when Amy runs into Desi at that casino in St. Louis, he sees her black eye and automatically jumps to the conclusion that Nick gave her that black eye and Amy hits the jackpot. Because in truth, she had given herself the black eye and the limp that also tricked Greta before him into believing that she had gotten beaten up by her boyfriend after catching him with another woman cheating.
Be cool, baby, okay?
And this is also why finding Amy's half-burnt diary in the furnace of Nick's father's house, Amy claiming that she was afraid of Nick and thought about purchasing a gun on Valentine's Day is enough for Officer Gilpin to conclude that Nick killed Amy for her life insurance, even though Amy did not specify why she wanted to buy a gun on Valentine's Day in the first place, because, like Nick, she is a bullshitter and knows how to manipulate people who judge by appearances without getting all of the facts.
Guess I cheated.
And that is why you can't always judge a book by its cover. At Amy's rally, Nick tries very hard to make positive impressions on everyone there by smiling, being polite, taking pictures, and even hugging his in-laws at the police station and leaving a positive impression on Detective Boney. She is unaware of the fact that Nick's mother taught him to always smile and be polite to people like Amy's parents. In truth, he thinks that they are assholes for plagiarizing Amy's life, but being that things that are obvious are mainly so to bullshit you into believing that they are true.
This man may kill me. In her own words.
I'd like to thank you for watching my analysis of director David Fincher's 2014 psychological thriller, Gone Girl. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the Godfather of Cinema, and hit the bell to be notified of my future uploads. I will see you soon.